Hey there and welcome to the Daily Manchester United News Show. Let's dive into today's top stories. Erik Tanh sends a clear warning to Antony with last-gasp substitution versus Fulham. Manchester United manager Erik Tanh has sent a clear warning to Antony with his last-gasp substitution against Fulham in the Premier League. The Red Devils went into the game on a 5-match winning streak in all competitions and were fancied to secure another victory against the Cottagers at Old Trafford. However, the visitors were the better team on the day, with more chances created on goal. They eventually won the game through Alex Iwobi in the 97th minute. Speaking after the defeat, Tanh was asked different questions. One of those was based on Antony, who replaced Victor Lindelof with seconds left on the clock. When pressed on the last-gasp substitution, the manager said that it was nothing to do with fitness and added that Antony has to step up considering his form earlier this season. The Dutchman explained that he has been monitoring the Brazilian in training, but Forson, Amad Diallo and Alejandro Garnacho deserve to play ahead of him. He said via the Metro the following: "It was nothing to do with fitness, he is fit, but we have many options on the right side where we lack in other positions due to injuries. The form in Antony we all have seen and he has to step up. I see it in training, but also other Omari and Amad Diallo and Garnacho deserve to play." The 24-year-old joined the Red Devils from Ajax last season, and he was almost an undisputed starter on the right wing when fit and available to play. His inconsistent performances on the field led to questions over Tanh favoritism of the winger. "We saw something similar earlier this campaign, but the manager has now acknowledged that there are players who deserve to start in front of Antony. Alejandro Garnacho has made the right wing position his own in recent weeks. He has formed a brilliant partnership with Marcus Rashford and Rasmus Højlund. Many fans predicted that Antony would start after Højlund's injury, but Tanh surprised everyone by handing a maiden start to Forson on the right wing." Manchester United might offload Omari Forson after Fulham game. Industry sources believes playing attacking midfielder Omari Forson against Fulham could make it more difficult for Manchester United to keep him. According to The Athletic, the 19-year-old made his first start for the Red Devils in the 2-1 loss to the London club on Saturday at Old Trafford, featuring for 53 minutes. It was his fourth appearance for Man United this term, having come off the bench in the FA Cup games against Wigan Athletic and Newport County. Forson also made another cameo appearance against Wolverhampton Wanderers earlier this month, but there remains a significant cloud over his future at the Theatre of Dreams. The teenager is out of contract in the summer and is yet to sign the competitive terms that have been offered by the club. Industry sources noted how playing him at the weekend would hamper Man United on the contractual side, pointing to the fact that it will raise his profile, which could make it more difficult to keep him. However, the Red Devils would argue that playing him shows there is a clear pathway into the first team for him. Man United paid a fixed fee under the training and compensation scheme after Forson joined them from Tottenham Hotspur in January 2019. He was part of the FA Youth Cup winning side in 2022, and he joined the senior squad for a pre-season ahead of 23-24, featuring against Leeds United and Borussia Dortmund. Forson has remained with the senior squad since then and developed in terms of his athleticism. As expected, there are multiple teams across Europe monitoring his situation, and it remains to be seen whether Man United can eventually convince him to sign a new deal. With Rasmus Højlund still out injured, Forson would likely get more chances to impress, as it appears he is ahead of Amad Diallo and Antony right now, and the Red Devils will hope that would convince him to remain with them. Should he opt to move on, Man United would only receive compensation from his next club, and they will be desperate to prevent that from happening given his huge potential. Erik Tanh admits Man United only made this signing because of a lack of other good options. Manchester United manager Erik Tanh has surprisingly admitted that he only made one recent signing for the club due to a lack of other good options available on the market at the time. The Red Devils signed Rasmus Højlund from Atalanta last summer after the Denmark international showed great potential in his time in Serie A, and he is proven to be a pretty smart signing for Ten Hag's side as well, even if he was a little slow to get going. Højlund's fine recent form will surely show that Man United made the right choice in signing him, and though Ten Hag is clearly happy with the deal, he also made the strange choice of admitting that he didn't really have any alternatives. This isn't exactly the biggest compliment to Højlund, but hopefully the 21-year-old will get what his manager means. Speaking to Cout Offside earlier today for his daily briefing column, Romano praised Højlund and suggested that United could do well to sign an experienced striker to help him next season, but without being a similar kind of young forward who'd threaten his place in the side. Romano said the following: United will obviously respect the great numbers of Rasmus Højlund and he will remain at the club, but one more striker is needed because Anthony Martial will leave Old Trafford as a free agent. There are no doubts about that. United still have to decide, however, if they want to go for a young player or an experienced player. There will be internal discussions about that, and United will take their time despite rumors about Joshua Zirkzee and Matthias Tell. We'll see what they decide in the coming weeks and months, but for sure, a new striker will be a core part of their plans for the summer. Personally, I think Højlund still has a huge potential, and I have been so impressed with his performances recently, so maybe an experienced striker who knows the league could help to make an instant impact and also to support Højlund while he is still developing. Paris Saint-Germain eyeing Rafael Varan as Milan Skriniar's replacement. Manchester United's unbeaten start to 2024 ended against Fulham, with Marco Silva's man picking up a deserved 2-1 win on Saturday. The Red Devils entered the game on the back of a 4-match winning streak in the Premier League, but the displays were far from convincing. It always seemed like the team was barely scraping past opposition, and the reversal arrived against the Cottagers, who completely dominated in front of a packed Old Trafford. With both Lisandro Martinez and Luke Shaw sidelined, the defense once again looked vulnerable, and Erik Ten Hag will be disappointed with how Rafael Varan has failed to step up in recent weeks. A four-time Champions League winner, the centre-back struggled against the London side, with former Arsenal man Ian Wright claiming Fulham targeted the World Cup winner. The 30-year-old's contract ends in June, and so far, United have decided against triggering the one-year extension option. Ineos have plans to trim the bloated wage bill, and the former Real Madrid star is one of the highest earners at the club. He is quite injury-prone and has only impressed in patches since his arrival in England, and a case can be made for moving on the former France international and starting afresh by bringing in a younger partner for the Argentine. Varan has been linked with a move to Saudi, while surprisingly, even former club Real Madrid are said to be monitoring proceedings. Recently, the People's Person relayed reports which stated that the soon-to-be free agent could also be targeted by Inter Milan and several other sides back home in France. As per El Nacional, Paris Saint-Germain have now joined the race following Milan Skriniar's long-term injury during Wednesday's Champions Trophy win over Toulouse. It must also be remembered that the Red Devils are open to a contract extension, but on reduced terms. It will be interesting to see what option Varan ends up choosing. Gyson Brammer shows why Man United want to sign him this summer. Manchester United are widely expected to sign a marquee centre-back this summer, and Juventus' Gyson Brammer has been identified as the prime transfer target. The Brazil international has been one of the best performing central defenders in Serie A over recent years. He only recently put pen to paper on a new deal at Juventus. This has not stopped the speculation over his future, and it has been reported that a fee in the region of 70 million euros could persuade the Bianconeri into cashing in on him. United have earmarked him as an ideal candidate to strengthen their backline. His performance in his recent match proves why the club are looking to land his signature. Brammer was booked after just 8 minutes in the 3-2 win, but he managed to regain his composure and delivered a solid display where he impressed with his distribution. The former Torino man had 113 touches, completing 94 out of his 104 passes. He was also brilliant with his long-range distribution, completing 12 out of his 15 long balls attempted. Aside from this, Brammer won 100% of his aerial duels alongside 3 tackles and 2 clearances. United manager Erik Tanh is reportedly keen on signing a physically strong defender who has the ability to anticipate and also possesses good ball-playing credentials. Brammer perfectly fits into the requirements of the Dutchman, but the only question is whether he can adapt to playing in a back four, having operated in a different setup. The Brazilian has featured in the middle of a back three for Juventus and former club Torino. If United are keen on signing him this summer, they should secure his transfer ahead of pre-season such that he can get accustomed to the defensive setup under Tanh. Manchester United transfer target Jan Clair talking up a return to FC Barcelona. Manchester United's defensive issues throughout the campaign have left Erik under major pressure at Old Trafford. A long injury list and loss of form across the back four have hamstrung United all season, leaving the decision not to strengthen the defense last summer in question. United will certainly be looking for defensive reinforcement in the upcoming window, with a raft of players being linked with a move. Nice centre-half Jan Clair is one of those reportedly targeted by United, and the player is open to move in the summer. However, the Frenchman has spoken on leaving League One, but it seems as though United are not the only team on his mind. Todibo spent an unsuccessful period with the Spanish giants Barcelona from 2019 to 2021, and despite struggling for minutes in his first stint, he sounds keen on a return to the Camp Nou. Todibo said the following: "A return to Barcelona? Why not? I don't regret it. Not at all. FC Barcelona is still a great experience. I learned a lot from Gerard Piqué, Samuel Umtiti, Clément Lenglet. It did me good. I discovered the very high level." The 24-year-old cited the quality of the players in front of him at the time as the reason for his lack of game. He said, "I didn't have the desired minutes because there were very big players in front of me. I also had a coach, Ernesto Valverde, who was under pressure, so it was normal for him to put Piqué instead of an inexperienced 19-year-old. Todibo has certainly found his feet in recent years after performing to a high level with Nice. The Frenchman is now one of the most sought-after defenders on the continent, and United will do well to capture his signature. Before then, United will be desperate to end the season well, with the Champions League qualification vital to their transfer budget for the upcoming window. 36-year-old manager, the leading candidate to replace Erik Tanh at Man United. Manchester United manager Erik Tanh is under a lot of pressure because of his team's mediocre performances this season. Manchester United were expected to compete for major trophies this year, but they are now struggling to secure a Champions League qualification. The club hierarchy backed the Dutch manager significantly at the start of the season, and they would have expected to see the results on the pitch. Things have clearly not gone according to plan for Ten Hag this season, and it remains to be seen whether he can turn things around and finish the season strongly. If the results do not improve drastically, it's highly unlikely that he will be in charge next season. A report from Vigac's claims that Manchester United are already looking at potential replacement, and former Bayern Munich manager Julian Nagelsmann has emerged as the leading candidate to replace the Dutchman. The 36-year-old German manager is highly rated around Europe, and he could prove to be an interesting addition. Nagelsmann is regarded as one of the finest young tacticians in the game, and he could help Manchester United bounce back strongly. There is no doubt that the Red Devils have a talented squad, and Erik Ten Hag has failed to get the best out of them this season. Nagelsmann could be the ideal manager to unlock their potential. It remains to be seen how the situation develops over the next few months. Ten Hag will be hoping to silence critics in the remaining months of the season and hold on to his job this summer. As we wrap up today's Manchester United news, remember to stay tuned for daily updates right here on the channel. Don't miss out on the latest updates, so make sure to hit that subscribe button and give us a like if you found this information valuable. Your support means the world to us. Thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.